grass clippings on the road. Good thing I'm not on a sport bike or a Harley. I might have died. Like, why do you blow your grass out in the street? I don't get it. I want to talk about top 5 pieces of gear that you're gonna need if you're just getting into adventure riding.
Disco.
We're back again, leaving the office. I got about an hour ride to get to the job site that I'm going to get some of the guys paid. And so while I'm riding here a little bit, first off, I'm testing out just keeping this 360 camera plugged in to the bike because it wants to keep dying. And so we're gonna try this out. But what I want to talk about after I get out of here, I want to talk about top 5 pieces of gear that you're gonna need if you're just getting into adventure riding or just like motorcycle travel in general, especially on like a not like a cruiser, but like a touring type bike. So like a Multistrada or a GS or a Versys or something like that. So if you're going to be doing any kind of off-roading or just like a sport touring bike, even like this will probably, a lot of this will probably go for that as well. And so I'm gonna have the top 5 first 5 things that you need to buy, and then a couple of honorable mentions on top of that. So obviously the first thing you're going to want to buy once you start getting into riding, even if you're already riding, say you're coming over from sport riding or riding a cruiser, and you need to upgrade your helmet. And I would say for adventure style riding or touring in general, I like to have an adventure style helmet like this. Now, my background is riding dirt bikes and at the motocross track and stuff like that, so I'm used to wearing a dirt bike style helmet. But for all around use, like, so I've got the Klim Cryos Pro. We talked about this helmet on the podcast last week, and this is the carbon, and it's very lightweight. So especially for having like GoPros, having equipment mounted on the helmet, I've got the headset and the GoPro and all that, and so I like having a lightweight helmet. I also like having something that's pretty breathable because most of my riding is going to be in the warmer weather. But also having this visor, if you're going to be doing any kind of off-road riding, if you've ever ridden motocross or enduro or any kind of off-roading like that, you know that if you're especially riding with other guys, you're going to get stuff thrown at you. And so this kind of serves double purpose. Like, you can tuck your head down and block rocks and dirt and mud chunks and stuff like that flying at you. But then also when you're riding around on the street like this, it doubles as a good sun visor. I don't particularly like riding with a tinted visor, and I also don't like wearing sunglasses inside my helmet. I actually used to wear glasses, and the whole reason I got contacts is because I got tired of the uncomfortableness of having glasses, taking them on and off. You have to put your helmet on, then put your glasses on. They're not comfortable inside. You sweat like crazy. You lose your peripheral vision, all that stuff. And so I actually ended up getting contacts because of my motorcycle helmets. And so this this lens here is it's a transitions lens, and so when it hits the sun, it gets dark. And then, like, you'll notice if I'm sitting at a red light for a little while and I've got it up here in the shade a little bit, once I pull it back down, it'll kind of have some lines on it. So at night it's perfectly clear, and then during the day it gets darker the more sunlight is coming at it. So this is good to have, but also I like to be able to crack this a little bit. So when I'm not typically talking on the microphone where I need to keep the wind noise out, I will keep this cracked, especially when it's warm. But then when it is cold, or when I have a phone call, or I'm talking to you guys, I can close this and then close the vents here in the front, and it keeps a lot of the air out. It's got the little chin guard here on the bottom and everything. So I like having an ADV helmet. I wear this helmet. I even wear it on my Harley. So these climb helmets, you can actually take this visor off, and it's got a kit that kind of plugs these holes, and it looks like a really cool kind of futuristic looking sports bike helmet. I actually get a lot of compliments on the helmet when I'm wearing it without the visor, either on my sport bike or on my Harley. But obviously when I'm riding this, or when I'm riding the Supermoto, I just rock it like this. So that's the first thing you want to think about, is getting a helmet if you don't have one, obviously, but also if you don't have a helmet that's inducive to you know, traveling or riding off-road and stuff like that, I would highly recommend you upgrading to an ADV style helmet. Number two is going to be a jacket, and so you want some kind of protective jacket to have on. Come on, buddy. So this is a Climb. I can never remember which model this is, but it's vented, and it's got all the padding in it. It's got the back pad, shoulder pads, and forearm pads, and so that's kind of hard to beat there. It's also vented, so it is 86 degrees here, and it's I'm in Chattanooga, so this Tennessee, North Georgia. It's very humid here. So this is a very humid heat. So as long as you're moving, this thing is pretty good. And so you want a jacket that's going to breathe. I definitely would not recommend wearing leather for long road trips, especially for off-road riding. I would not recommend that at all. Let me check my GPS here right quick. See where we're headed to. Come on. So with yeah, so you want something that's going to give you a little bit of protection off-road, but it's also going to be breathable. You can go, it depends on kind of the type of riding you're going to be doing, like what kind of climates you're going to be riding in and stuff like that. And so a lot of guys will have two sets of gear. They'll have one for the summer and one for the colder months. So I mean, you can get like a Gore-Tex version of this that's still a little bit breathable, but it's going to be for more warmer climates, but it's also going to be waterproof. So this jacket is not waterproof, but like I said, I live in the South, so the majority of my riding, even in the winter time, man, like I'm still riding when it's like in December. I can still be out during the day and it's 50-60 degrees. So the only time it's like super cold around here is like we have a couple of cool snaps, and then outside of that, it's just when the temperatures dip down in the mornings and at night. And like I said, I typically don't ride at night anyways. And so what I do personally is I got all the vented gear, and then what I have is a Gore-Tex Climb rain suit that goes on top of this. So if it does rain, I keep it right up here in this bag on the side, and so I just throw that on the pants and the jacket. But I also wear that when it's cold because it acts as a windbreaker. So this jacket will keep you warm as long as you cover all these vents. And you can see how vented this is. It's got a lot of venting on it. But it's also got the padding and the road armor and all that stuff. Like I said, I would not recommend leather. I wouldn't recommend like a sport bike jacket or anything like that. Like, get something that's going to breathe good, but it's also going to give you that flexibility, and it's going to be kind of lightweight. The third thing that I would recommend that you upgrade to if you're going to be doing any kind of off-road riding is a good pair of riding boots. So today I'm just wearing steel-toed cowboy boots because I'm working, so I'm not wearing my adventure boots, but a good pair of boots can save a foot or an ankle off-road. If you're going to be riding a bike off-road, you're going to end up dropping the bike. You're going to end up having a little bit of a wreck here and there. And you do not, especially on these big adventure bikes, you do not want to get your ankle caught between the ground and one of these big metal panniers. And so having something with good ankle support, I have the Forma adventure boots because they are very comfortable to walk in, and since I travel a lot, you can walk around in those and they don't look completely ridiculous if you're wearing a pair of riding jeans. So those are good, and they're also waterproof. So that's another thing. I would recommend having a pair of boots that are waterproof. You want something that is breathable yet waterproof. You don't want to be the guy that when it's raining you're having to take your boots off and slip freaking shopping bags on top of your socks to keep your feet dry. And because you, especially if it's getting cold, if your feet get cold, you're screwed, especially if they're wet. So a good protective set of waterproof boots. If you're going to be doing really hardcore off-roading, like if you're riding a dual sport and all you're doing is off-roading and you're not really doing a whole lot of street riding or traveling, I'd recommend just go ahead and get a set of MX boots. So I do have a couple of sets of motocross boots, and they're like the Tech, I forget which version I have, like the Tech 9s or Tech 10s or something that I wore on the motocross track. And so if I'm doing just off-roading, which I don't do a lot of anymore, I don't have a dirt bike anymore right now, like I said, I am going to be upgrading to not upgrading, but adding a dual sport to the lineup, and so I might be wearing those if I'm doing just some off-road riding. So good pair of boots. The next thing is pants. If you're going to be riding for a long time, you want pants that are going to match kind of whatever you're doing with your jacket. So for me, I have the matching set of pants for this jacket. They're breathable. They also have the hip pads, they have the knee pads, and then all the armor and everything. Those things have taken, I've got like 25,000 miles on this jacket and those pants, and they've taken some abuse and they're still holding up. But a lot of people don't really think about the pants, especially for off-roading. You want to have good protection. Just a pair of jeans is not going to be enough. If you're extreme off-roading, get you a set of knee braces. Knee injuries, just twisting a knee coming off a bike is about the most common injury that we see. I've worked as a first responder helper at the motocross track, and when it comes to dirt bikes and stuff, knees and collarbones are the two most common things that we see. And so take care of those knees. Let's say if you're doing extreme off-roading, get you a decent set of knee braces to wear under your pants. But also if you're doing just adventure riding and stuff, get you a good pair of pants that's got some knee pads in them. The knee pads are good if you go down on the street, if you're going just kind of slow off-roading like what I do. So that's pretty simple. You can get riding jeans that are the Kevlar jeans that also have the knee pads and the hip pads. I do have those for when I'm just riding around town. I got actually what I'm wearing now. But I would not recommend those for traveling, just because if you get caught in the rain and those things get wet, they take forever to dry if you don't have rain gear on top of them. And also on that, they're just hot. You can't get them with venting. There's no zippers to open them up or anything like that, so those pants get really hot. So I would not recommend riding jeans for traveling or for adventure style riding. So the last thing on number five would be a comm system. So if you're going to be especially riding with a group, get you a good comm system. So I've got the Pack Talk Bold here, and so for me, typically, especially when I'm traveling, Kimber goes with me, and so we need to be able to communicate with each other. Doing hand signals and trying to yell at each other gets old really quick. So being able to talk to each other through the headset, being able to take phone calls, being able to listen to music, podcasts, especially for long road trips and stuff, just keep you from going a little bit crazy. But then on top of that, being able to talk with the guys that you're riding with. So like I typically am not going to do much off-roading if I'm not with a group. I don't like going out like that alone. So if there's somebody that goes down, you need to be able to communicate with each other. If you're riding with a group of people, you need to be able to communicate with each other. You know, just all that stuff. So a good comm system, a good headset is always a good thing to have. Now, honorable mention, those are the top 5, but also, like, it's not a must, because like I've worn like mechanics gloves that you get at AutoZone for like 20 bucks for motorcycle gloves. Those work really well, but they're not going to be warm, they're not going to be waterproof. For summer riding, I really just wear these Klim gloves because they're vented. They've got a little bit of padding on top just in case like my knuckles are getting hit with something flying up off the road, or if we're going down a gravel road or something, somebody's kicking up gravels. It's a little bit of protection, it's not a lot. But for the most part, I wear these just because they're cool and they breathe with it really well. But if you're going to be traveling, I will typically wear a set of gloves that have more protection, palm protection, knuckle protection. I think the ones I have like carbon fiber cover on the knuckles. And then I've got another set of warm weather gloves, or warm gloves for when it gets really cold, that are waterproof, that kind of come up over the sleeve and everything. I just keep those down here with my rain gear if we go through any colder weather or anything like that. And then the last thing is, it's not really gear, but if you're gonna start doing motorcycle traveling and adventure riding, you've never done it before, I highly recommend having a toolkit. Like, get you a toolkit. I have a tool roll that I keep in the bottom of one of my panniers. So I have a tool roll, a tire repair kit, a tire pump, and then a battery booster. And so I have all that stuff, and that'll kind of get you out of any situation where you haven't like actually wrecked or messed up the bike really bad. So that'll get you, as long as you haven't like slashed a tire, as long as you can plug it and kind of get back to civilization. If you leave your key on at night, if you leave one of your lights on or something like that, and you wake up to a dead battery, having a booster pack is very nice to have. It also doubles as an emergency battery pack, like if you need to charge your phone or something like that in an emergency, you've also got that. So that's the last thing I recommend. If you're going to start traveling, have a way to get yourself out. The kind of the last thing on top of that, like if you've got the money to spend it, get you like an inReach, like a Garmin little satellite communicator. I've got the one that can tether to your phone, so I can still send text messages and ping my location even if I don't have cell service. So that's getting into like more expensive stuff. And then on top of all that, then you can start talking about kit, as far as like GPSs and like tank bags and panniers and the gear and all that stuff. Today I just wanted to talk about like gear for your personal self, excuse me. Helmet, jacket, pants, boots, gloves, the kind of stuff that you're going to want to have when it comes to that. So I hope that was informative. If you have any questions about that, or the gear that myself or any of the guys I ride with have, if you want some more recommendations on brands or something like that, or if you think I'm completely wrong and you have something to add to that, hey, let me know. We just about made it to our destination. We're up here in the middle of nowhere on Lookout Mountain, doing the type of riding I really like to do. Kind of out here in the middle of nowhere, out in the country, no traffic. And I believe, if I remember correctly, this job's either down a dirt road or a gravel road. So we'll be getting up here in a couple of miles. It's a nice little ride up through here. It took about an hour to get here. Update, the 360 camera will work just fine if I just plug it directly into the bike and don't have to worry about the battery dying. So you can see I've just got it plugged in here, and it's not really showing up. The cord is not really showing up in the camera view, I think. So I think we're good. So I think from now on I don't have to, at least on this one, the one on the back, I don't feel like running a power cord all the way back to that. Plus I'm probably not going to be using that rear view all the time. These will be my two main cameras here. But having this just plugged in to the adapter down there, that works really well. I kind of like that setup. Now I don't have to worry about the batteries at all. Man, grass clippings on the road. It's a good thing I'm not on a sport bike or a Harley. I might have died. For real though, I mean, even outside of the dangers of riding over grass clippings on a motorcycle, why? Like, why do you blow your grass out in the street? I don't get it. Just turn the other way. Blow it back onto your property. I've never understood that. Like, if your lawnmower blows grass, there goes my guys. I don't. Now I get to come up here and not even do what I needed to do. So it looks like I'm headed an hour and a half back the other way, because it looks like they're already done for the day at 2 o'clock. So anyways, if your lawnmower blows grass off to the right side, why don't you go this way and blow it to that side? I don't understand. I always blow my grass clippings to the inside of the lawn anyways. I don't like having to get out in the street and blow it off. Plus it looks like crap and you look lazy. There. That's my opinion on your grass clippings. Regardless of whether they're dangerous or not, you look like an ass blowing all your crap out into the street. So there's my opinion on it. Deal with it. So anyways, I really like getting out and riding like this. Oh look, it's 78 degrees up here. Back down in Chattanooga it was close to 90. Get up here on the backside of the mountain here, it's a nice chill 78. I can deal with that. I can deal with that all day. All right, here we are. Getting on up here. Here we go. Up here on the left. So let's go check out this little construction job. I had to do some work on a little church up here. It says there's a road up here. There it is. Yeah, it is a gravel road. All right. Doing a little adventure ride. So hardcore. Gotta be careful. It's a nice little road. This isn't bad at all. They maintained this one pretty well. It's a little loose. So, alright, yeah, so I gotta wrap up here and then head back to another job, and then gotta get to soccer practice tonight. We got the kids have a soccer scrimmage. I've got one in soccer who and then another one in cheerleading. Always stuff to do. I am very blessed to have that, and then to also be able to ride a motorcycle fairly often. So I'm gonna try to start recording pretty much every time I'm out riding. Getting to the point to where some of my guys are able to handle some of the material stuff for me. So I don't have to drive my diesel truck every single day, pulling trailers and stuff, so it's not too terribly bad. Where is this place at? I feel like this road just keeps going. Whoop. Little stagnant dry creek. And this thing handles really well, even on loose gravel. So I am not a very experienced off-road rider. I am not a racer. Oh, this brought me in the back way. No wonder I didn't know where I was going. I was completely turned around last time I came in from that way. So, okay, well, nobody's here. And there's no shade for me to park in. Let's head up here. All right, I'm gonna go check this job out and then call the guys and see where they're headed to, and then holler at the customer. So I will check back in later. See ya.